Good morning. Shalina Harris, wife and mom of the Harris Family Tribe, founder of Women to Women, founder of Down Home Mama. Super busy, loving life. Want to encourage you, love life. Take today and say, you know what? This is my day. Make it an adventure. Doesn't matter if you're doing dishes, feeding the horses, teaching the kids their school. So this morning, I was so nervous, y'all. Oh my goodness. So I'm a mentor in the Mermaid Cove, and there's like 6,500 some women in this group. And so this morning I was like, Lord, I need to prepare them for the video challenge coming up. I want them to be excited about it. So I spent a lot of time in prayer. I even got my feathers out this morning. I was like, Lord, I'm covering you, or I'm being covered by your feathers, Psalms 91:4. And as I was doing my video, one of the ladies asked me, she said, Shalina, what is your favorite feather? So I'm about to share my favorite feather and why. And I actually have one on here. And this was my first feather that I found. Can you all see this? Alright, any guesses what kind of feather it is? It is a woodpecker feather. Do you want to know why it's my favorite? If you know somebody that loves birds or is curious about feathers, share this video, because there's more to the birds and feathers than just them being birds and eating bugs. The kids, one of their favorite subjects that we work out of is a book called Character Sketches, and it gives a description about the animal and then the biblical reference of who it relates to in the Bible. It's intention, it is being orderly, it is having a good conduct. It is like the mama bear is the only animal that spanks its young. A mama bear will spank its young to keep it from getting hurt. So, interesting fact. Loading slow. Okay. So why the day that my uncle passed away was August 31st, and I was on the phone with my mama, and I looked down and I saw a woodpecker feather, and I was like, wow. And I picked the feather up, and I was keeping it forever. And then I just continued to find feathers. Well, when I found that feather, I was like, I didn't know it was a woodpecker feather, so I researched it, and somewhere I found the characteristics of a woodpecker, and I cannot find it. Like, that's why I'm like a half hour late or whatever. I was trying to find where I found the characteristics of a woodpecker, and a woodpecker actually does have a sense of humor. But here were some interesting facts. A woodpecker can strike the tree 20 times a second, and I'm thinking, that woodpecker has my number, because I am quick. I like to be like, just get it done as fast as you can. So I resonated with that. They can absorb shock. How many of you in life can absorb shock? How many of you can, you take a punch and you just keep on going? I'd say all of us. I'd say anybody watching this video. I'd say anybody you share this video with. We must have a bird up there. Haze coming down out of the loft. I hope it's a bird, not a snake. Is it time for snakes? It's warm. Somebody let me know, please. Okay, anyway. I'm going to slide back just a little bit. I don't think a snake would come down there. But just in case. Okay, a woodpecker can absorb shock. It just takes it and it says, all right, I'm going to keep getting it. All right, it hangs on and gets the job done. It's like, I don't care how tired I am, I'm getting this job done. I'm not finishing till I have all them bugs out of the tree, all the sap that I'm wanting. And then, get this, it listens. Let me check this horse real quick. You good. What you got going on? What you got going on? How does that feel good? Feel good? All right. Horse care, just making sure like it's not choking or anything. But a woodpecker will hang on. It listens. Like it'll peck real hard, real hard, real hard, and then it stops and it listens. And this just reminds me of like, you know, if you're working, you're like, I gotta stop and listen. God, I'm working hard, Lord. Is this the path you want me on? Lord, I will give you my all. I will give you my everything. I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen. Is this the right path? And then that's sometimes when I find some of the feathers. All right. It uses what it has. Like it uses its resources. It has a long tongue. Its tongue is 3 times longer than its beak, which is crazy. But also it has eye protection. You know, it's sitting there beating that tree and stuff's flying out of the tree. Have you ever seen a woodpecker hole? Like they're massive. And they have a purpose. Their purpose is to get rid of the bugs that are killing that tree. Their purpose is to eat out any insects. But they have protection on their eyes. They're like covered. What they see. This is important parenting right here, guys. This is a bonus. What your kids see is important. What your kids watch is important. What your kids see, how you and your husband, you and your friends, you and your family communicate, that's important. What you see in your mind, what you watch on TV, what you watch on the computer, what you read, what you look at in the world is important. Are you looking at the world with a positive vibe? Are you staying wrapped up in the negative? What you're seeing with your eyes is important. And sometimes you may need to protect them. Sometimes you got to just focus. Second is they use their tail to balance. They're using their resources. They're using what they have. When they are working their hind end off and they're working on that tree, they're using their tail to keep them in line. They're using their tail to stay firm. They're using their tail to stay balanced. Where you plant your bottom or your feet is going to make a difference. If you're planting your feet over here on the side and you're kind of wobbling, it's going to make a difference. If you're over here and you think that you're just going to balance a little bit, do a little bit of a wobbling act, it's going to make a difference on how focused, how firm, how foundation, how well equipped you are to get your job done. All right, the drumming of a woodpecker. If you've heard the drumming of a woodpecker, put drumming or woodpecker in the comments. Have you ever heard how loud it is? Have you stopped to pay attention? Man, a woodpecker is really loud. You want to know why they're loud? They are attracting their vibe, their tribe, their mate. They're making their noise. So the people that hear that noise, they're like, yeah, that woodpecker's telling me something. Also, they're telling the enemy, beware. I am one loud woodpecker. Beware. Get back, Jack. So then, it's like their strength. They're saying, you know, I'm really loud and this is my territory, so get back. And that's kind of like a mama. She's like, get back. These are my babies and I'm going to protect them. You better get back. And then, you know, a woodpecker is beautiful. It can be funny looking, but it is just, its physical characteristics, it is just beautiful. Have you ever sat and looked? We actually feed our birds and get woodpecker food and everything, but have you looked at just watched how they move, how they function in life, how they, like if you've watched birds feed, they'll protect one another, or they'll like push out what doesn't need to be there, or who's not welcome. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. That is why I chose the woodpecker, because it has a lot of the characteristics of my Uncle Dan. It has characteristics of who I am. And I'm sure like all the birds have about the same. But, you know, the woodpecker just resonates to who I am. So those are definitely, no, not Woody Woodpecker. But I wanted to share something with you, and it's called Choreography. It's out of the Draw the Circle 40-Day Prayer Journal. It says, few promises are more circled in the Bible than Proverbs 16:9. In their hearts, human plan their course. How many of you have a course planned? I do. I have a course planned that when I get back in the house, chores will be all finished. Everything's going to be done. We're ready to do school, which we're running late for. We're going to do our other 100 things that we want to get done today. That's my plan. I've planned my course. That's part of being organized. That's part of running a 8-member family. But you know what? The Lord's going to establish my steps. He may come and send somebody that needs help today. He may come and send somebody that wants to help me today. Who knows? The Lord is going to establish my steps if I let Him. I have to let Him. I have to say, you know what, God, I surrender. I can't do it all. God wants us to get where God wants us to go more than anything. He wants us there. And He's good at getting us there. Just sometimes we have to follow the script. Sometimes we have to be patient. Sometimes we have to wait in that area. And we're like, Lord, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. But there's still lessons that need to be learned. We can't plan God-ordained opportunities. All we can do is seize them. I'm telling y'all, you know what? We can make the best plans, but the plan that God has, that's going to be the plan that matters. That's going to be the plan that is far better than what you could ever imagine. It says we can't perform miracles. All we can do is pray for them. And pray in abundance. Pray to receive mental clarity in abundance. Pray to receive a heart of compassion in abundance. It says our job is to hear His voice like the woodpecker. Work, 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 work. But hear. Are you listening? Are you listening to what God's telling you? Are you listening to what He's saying to you this morning? His job is to establish our steps. And if we'll do our job, if we'll do our part, He's going to do His. You have to be real about it, though. It says the Hebrew word kun, translated in Proverbs 16:9 as establishes, can also be translated as determines. Are you determined? Prepares, provides, sets in place, directs, firmly decides, makes secure. How many of you would want more security in your life? Financial security, mental security, physical security, relationship security. I think we all could use that in abundance. Who doesn't? You'd be crazy to say, nah, I don't want any of that. It's a meticulous word that involves careful planning right down to the smallest detail. It's a redemptive word that celebrates God's ability to redeem past experiences and recycle them. God will take your junk. If you've ever had junk in your life, put junk in the comments. I'd be the one putting junk, 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 junk. He can take your junk, recycle it, and make it something amazing. True story. Absolutely true story. It's a calming word that imparts confidence in the fact that God has everything under control. It's a creative word that hints at the beauty of God's artistry. God's the composer. Your life is His musical score. Do you think God wants to fail? No, and He won't fail. We may fail Him. We will fail Him because we're not perfect. He's the composer. Your life is His musical score. God's the artist. The artist. And your life is His canvas. God's the architect. You guessed it. Your life is His blueprint. God's the writer, and you're His book. God is great, not just because nothing's too big for Him. God is also great because nothing is too small. What pages are you going to add to your book today? What adventure are you going to go on? What adventure are you going to share with someone else? So I hope you all have an awesome day. Be you, be kind, inspire someone, and remember that God doesn't want to fail. And He doesn't want you to fail.